The ear. Ear has three parts: external ear, middle ear and internal ear. The external ear is made up of pinna and the external acoustic meatus. The middle ear is made up of the three ossicles. Today we will see the internal ear. The inner ear or internal ear contains the organ of hearing, the cochlea, and the organ of balance, that is the utricle, saccule and the semicircular canals. It is made up of two components, the bony part and the membranous part. Because it is like a labyrinth, a network, it is called the bony labyrinth and the membranous labyrinth. Now the gap between the bony and the membranous labyrinth is filled with perilymph. This perilymph is having the same composition as the CSF and it communicates with the subarachnoid space. Within the membranous labyrinth is the endolymph, which has same composition like the cytoplasm. This is how the inner ear looks. These are the semicircular duct and canals. Then you can see this is the cochlea. So coming to the bony labyrinth, which lies within the petrous part of temporal bone and consists of the vestibule, the semicircular canals and the cochlea. These are the cavities lined by periosteum. Within the bony labyrinth, so the pink colored thing what you are seeing inside is the membranous labyrinth. The membranous labyrinth, which is shown in the figure here, has saccule, utricle, which lies in the vestibule, and the cochlear duct, which lies in the cochlea. There are semicircular ducts which lie in the semicircular canals. All these are interconnected cavities. They are filled with endolymph and they contain the organs of hearing and balance. So what is vestibule? It lies in the central part of the bony labyrinth, lies medial to the tympanic cavity, posterior to the cochlea and anterior to the semicircular canals. So here you can see this portion is the vestibule, which lies anterior to the cochlea in front, posterior to the semicircular canals. It is ovoid in shape and it has a medial, lateral, anterior and posterior wall. The medial wall shows a vestibular crest, which is shown here, divides it into spherical recess and the elliptical recess. Below it divides to enclose the cochlear recess. In its lateral wall, the vestibule is separated from the middle ear by thin bony plate having two windows. The oval window or fenestra vestibuli is into which the base of stapes is inserted by an annular ligament. What is the function? It transmits the vibrations from the ossicles to the perilymph. The round window, it is closed by secondary tympanic membrane and helps in the spread or distribution of excess vibrations. In the posterior part of the vestibule are 5 openings of the semicircular canals. In its anterior wall is an elliptical opening that leads into the scala vestibuli of the cochlea. So here you can see this is the vestibule and this is the round window and this is the oval window This whole thing is the vestibule. So the two components of the membranous labyrinth of the vestibule are the saccule and the utricle. These are connected by a Y-shaped duct. Here you can see the Y-shaped duct from which arises the endolymphatic. So continuing here is the endolymphatic duct and the endolymphatic sac. The saccule, there are several minute holes which are called macula cribrosa media, which transmit the fine branches of the vestibular nerve to the saccule. The utricle is the posterior-superior part to the vestibular crest. The walls of the utricle and saccule, they have sensory receptor cells. These are called the macula, on which there are these receptor cells which lead to form the vestibular nerve. So here you can see that there are inner hair cells and there are supporting cells. These are having these stereocilia, one of which is called the kinocilium, and from here there are efferent nerve endings which are going to form the vestibular nerve. These cilia, they are moving in a membrane called the otolithic membrane, which will generate the impulses which are carried through the vestibular nerve for the balance. The semicircular canals are three, of which two lie in a vertical plane, which are the anterior and the posterior, and one lies in the horizontal plane. So there are two which are in the vertical plane and one lies in the horizontal plane. All three are at right angle to each other. They are located posterior-superior to the vestibule. Each canal forms 2/3 of a circle. Within each canal, that is the bony outer canal, lies a semicircular duct which is filled with endolymph and communicates with the utricle. The semicircular canals have dilated ends which are called the ampulla. So together they should form 6, but because these two ends are connected, there is single opening here, and the remaining ones, dilated ones, they will form total of 5 ampullae. The common one is called the crus commune. Inside the ampulla there is a ridge, and on that there are the sensory receptor cells which will continue to form the vestibular nerve. Function is to maintain the balance. So here you can see these are the semicircular canals with their dilated ampullary portion. This is the crus commune, the common one. This is another opening. So the crista ampullaris, it again shows supporting cells and sensory cells. They have the stereocilia and the kinocilia covered by a gelatinous mass which is called the cupola. And the bases of these have nerve endings or the axons which will form the vestibular nerve. This is a diagram to show how the vestibular nerve maintains balance during different positions of the head or during turning of the head to the right and the left side. The cochlea, it is a conical spiral shape like a snail having 2 3/4 of turns. It lies anterior to the vestibule in the petrous temporal bone, and it has a membranous part which arises from the saccule and spirals upwards. It is blind at the apex, and it has a central axis which is called the modiolus, and there is a spiral lamina around this modiolus like a corkscrew. From there, two membranes arise, that is a Risner's membrane or a vestibular membrane and a basilar membrane. They form three compartments. So, there is a scala vestibuli which is above, which lies between the spiral lamina and the vestibular membrane. The scala media which lies between the vestibular membrane and the basilar membrane, which is this one, and the scala tympani between the basilar membrane and the spiral lamina. Helicotrema, which lies at the apex where the scala vestibuli and the scala tympani they meet at the apex of the cochlea. So this is the helicotrema where they two communicate. Organ of Corti, you can get a short note on organ of Corti. It lies in the scala media on the basilar membrane. The basilar membrane is nothing but a thin sheet of fibrous tissue attached to the spiral lamina medially, spiral lamina of the modiolus, and the spiral ligament laterally. It is covered by membrana tectoria. There are two types of cells, sensory hair cells, which are divided into outer and inner hair cells. So the inner hair cells, they form a single layer. Outer hair cells form 3 to 5 rows of cells. In between them, there is a tunnel of Corti which contains the Corti lymph. Then there are supporting cells. So one type of cell is the sensory hair cell, the other type of cell is the supporting cell. The supporting cells again divided into outer and inner pillar cells and outer and inner phalangeal cells, which are the supporting cells. What is the function of organ of Corti? The sound waves from the external acoustic meatus fall on the tympanic membrane. This leads to vibration of the membrane, which the vibrations are transmitted via the three ossicles. It is enhanced here 10 times. It reaches the stapes. From the stapes through the oval window, they are transmitted to the perilymph of the cochlea, scala vestibuli of cochlea, through the vestibular membrane to the scala media. These vibrations they are induced in the basilar membrane, from there to the organ of Corti. If there are any excess vibrations, they are dissipated or they are transmitted through the scala tympani to the round window, and this prevents any damage to the inner ear apparatus. The basilar membrane is thinnest at the apex of the cochlea and thinnest at the base and thickest at the apex. It is tuned to the frequencies of sound waves so that highest frequencies are sensed at the base. At a particular frequency, the basilar membrane vibrates and stimulates the hair cells, and these are transmitted through the organ of Corti and the bipolar neurons of the spiral ganglion through the auditory nerve, which goes to the auditory area of the cortex, and hearing is appreciated. This is how the vestibular and the cochlear nerve is formed. Vestibular nerve comes from the saccule and the utricle. The sensory cells in the saccule and the utricle, where there are areas called the macula on which the sensory cells are present, and also the ampullae of the semicircular ducts. From here there is a vestibular ganglion, and then it will join the cochlear nerve. The cochlear nerve arises from the organ of Corti and the spiral ganglion, where there are bipolar cells, and these two together will go through the internal acoustic meatus and they will go in the brainstem. Applied anatomy of inner ear. Tinnitus is a noise or a buzzing sensation due to disease of inner ear. Vertigo is a sudden spinning sensation, especially when you turn your head. Meniere's disease is a type of disease of inner ear when there is vertigo, and caloric test is a test done to diagnose Meniere's disease. Thank you.